Hi, I'm Robert,
And I'm Kyle.
and today we're going to take you on a journey. A journey unrehearsed, raw, emotional, deep. This is the Deep Talks podcast. Well, most of it is unrehearsed. Like all of it's unrehearsed, but I guess this intro kind of constitutes the definition of being rehearsed. I mean, this is take 10, and I'm still messing it up, but other than that, you know, it's all off the cuff.
Now recording.
So creepy.
Hey, girl.
Oh, sorry. Is this better? Now recording.
Okay, I can ejaculate to that. Yeah, I can do that.
I don't know. I think Craig is a sexy voice. Fuck you. We always talk about this. We always
talk about this, Bravo, and I still disagree with you because, dude, fucking Craig's creepy, yo. Dude, he's a fucking Bale. Dude, it's so creepy.
Now recording. It's like an android. If it's in like the universe of like Alien and shit like that, and it's like Prometheus if it was good, and then there was an android and it had a voice, that's the sexiest android that's going to exist.
That's not that bad.
I don't know. Like,
I, for one, welcome our Android overlords. And with that, welcome
I can
to
accept
the
the overloading, but I mean, just like, come on.
Oh, God, no.
I can do little bit.
Yeah, don't let me know. It's fine.
Dame tu cosita.
But Kyle, you should watch that. That's the sourdough video, and then just go from there.
So that's using their recipe. I actually baked my first loaf of bread, and it came out really well.
Dude, nice.
Every loaf of bread after that, not so well. Like, I have not been able to get the good results like that I got the first time. And it always I bought rice flour because it keeps sticking to my fucking dish towels or whatever. I've got a bowl now. I'm like, I'm gonna try one more time, and if it doesn't work out, I'm gonna quit and just keep buying sourdough or hiring Kyle to make it.
You just need my dish towels. Kyle never had problems with my dish towels.
Yeah, I don't.
It's true.
It could be my technique. Absolutely.
I also found out I shape really good bread now. So, like,
dude. That must be nice.
I started making pretty good bread, and then out of nowhere, I was like, you know what? I'm good enough with this. I'm going to start experimenting. And then like I started using like random like shit that I used from brewing, because it's popular to do that. And I didn't know any recipes for it, and I didn't really want to look them up. But I was like, oh, I've been baking bread for the past few weeks, and I like what I'm making. And I tried making something, and it turned out to be like the biggest, fattest, most dense brick in the fucking world. It was like the center of the earth type of shit. And I was like, fuck this.
You got to get some Kyle improv bread because it's beautiful.
That's what I want. I need to be good at baking shit. I can't bake to save my goddamn life. I have to be able to wing everything that I do.
Here's the thing: is you don't have to completely wing it. You just have to be familiar with the feel of it, and that's something Kyle always said. Is like, oh yeah, I don't really do measurements. I mean, I have these like random fucking cups that I just throw in, but I know generally what it should feel like and what it consists of.
Don't give away my secrets.
I think
it's not a fucking secret that you free ball it, and then you're just like, oh, it's not good enough. I'm gonna add more flour. Fuck.
Yeah. For me, like, I think it's because like I'm so used to, I feel like it's more friendly in terms of like not getting the right amounts for real, like normal cooking. And I say real cooking in the sense that it's not better or easier or anything like that. But like when you're cooking food, you can fuck up to a much larger degree and the food still tastes good. But if you fuck up baking in like the slightest degree, you're totally done.
Really? Dude, I fuck up at baking all the time. Like, I can't handle cooking.
I need to learn some more technique then, because clearly
fuck it, it's fine. Like,
well, I think there's a difference here, and I think you guys are looking at it from different like point of views. Because Kyle's bread is always like, I mean, yeah, he free balls it, but when he fucks it up, it's still like pretty decent because it's consistent. He's like, he's got a recipe in his heart, you know, that he's just done enough times.
Oh, this is made of sourdough.
You know, that you've got sourdough starter under your fingernails, so whenever you're molding your bread, it's feeding it more. You know.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ace, you've got so much cooking experience that you just don't understand baking as well, and It's just you just got to experience it more. I
think
really enjoyed your garlic baguettes. You know, with just like a full cloves of garlic in it.
Love it.
Garlic.
So good.
the garlic cheese.
Oh my
baguettes.
God.
Yeah,
Dude, the goat cheese, cream cheese combo spread
that's
with some
still
parm on top, toasted. Ooh.
I mean, it's pretty standard at this point
Game
with all your cash. Oh, you know what? We should definitely have a podcast where we talk about your cash experience.
We should have another cash before
we should have another cash first. Absolutely.
But no, the cheesy bread shit was like, that was the most obscure way I could think about doing like cheese bread, because everybody just puts on like a loaded amount of like, even if it's freshly shredded, it's shredded cheese on bread. And like maybe there's some butter or like a little bit of oil and like maybe some garlic powder and it's like maybe some Italian seasoning.
Nah, bitch, goat cheese
and cream cheese for a base, and some Parmesan with that. Add in, if you want, like some Colby, add in some cheddar if you want, whatever. And then on top,
more stretch.
Fuck ton of like freshly grated Parmesan.
Yeah.
And then toast that shit in the oven and you will have an orgasm.
I mean, but why don't you like start even farther down the line and just bake the cheese into the bread? Like literally like bake the bread with the cheese inside of it already. And then start with the cheese again, topping on top of that.
Yeah. Are you saying like cut a baguette open like halfway, put cheese on, and then
no, just make your own homemade
baguette with cheese in it.
Cheese inside.
Kyle's cheese bread was fucking incredible.
Jalapeno cheddar cheese bread, sourdough bread was amazing. And,
dude, honestly, Kyle, that bread is what made me like jalapenos.
I want to taste this shit. No,
it was a great loaf of bread. It really was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like how the whole process for the cheesy bread was toasting the baguettes with some olive oil on it, taking it out, putting the cheese spread on. I'm just going to call it cheese spread. It was goat cheese, cream cheese, and probably some other cheese mixed in. Depends on what I had in the fridge at the time. Bake that for a little bit, pull it out, put Parmesan on, put it in broil so that it actually like starts caramelizing the top of it. You get that nice brown texture of the Parmesan on it.
Like that was,
so it baked in a little bit, but probably not to the extent that you're thinking. So what are you thinking in terms of like baking into the bread?
Literally,
like you
just put some cheese in the dough, and
then bake the bread.
And then just bake it.
It's like go a step farther backwards and just go from start the roots of the whole entire problem.
Why don't you, instead of using yeast, why don't you use cheese culture? Ooh, there we go.
Go.
Shit.
Keep going further and further. No.
Instead of bread, let's make cheese.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my God. Genius. Real genius.
You know what? No. Let's go milk the cow.
Okay. Let's feed the cow bread first.
The first couple of caches, the first two that I did, I made the baguettes from scratch. And what I did was I cut a whole head of garlic in half, put a little bit of garlic or put a little bit of olive oil on them, baked it in the oven at like maybe 300 degrees for like 20 minutes or something, just to soften it up. And then I rolled all those pieces of garlic heads or pieces of garlic cloves into the dough of the baguettes that I made. So it was super heavy garlic, but it was like roasted garlic. So it wasn't overwhelmingly fresh or anything like that. And then I did the cheesy bread on top and baked it in blah, 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 blah.
He definitely forgot one step, which was
I definitely did.
He microwaved it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Wait, what?
Dude, bitch, you microwaved it. I remember.
Why?
Oh,
the garlic.
The garlic, no, because I didn't have enough
to
time.
cook it.
He microwaves everything. To defrost chicken, he does it in the microwave.
When I'm in a fix, if I'm cooking for a bunch of people, I don't do that. You know, I'm cooking for myself and like a couple other people.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Let's stop with the judgment and just have an interesting conversation, because back in like the 1950s when microwaves first came out,
back in the 1950s when people thought asbestos was okay.
Listen to me, okay?
Thank you.
There was a time where people were so excited about microwaves. They threw everything in the fucking microwave. They're like, I can cook a chicken in the microwave in 3 minutes. It's perfect. Sure, it tastes like rubber, but whatever. It's done. It's fucking there. And now I think we've become so elitist that we're just like, oh, you're reheating your steak? That's fucking pathetic. And I'm guilty of it. I really am.
Not reheating, defrosting, and it started cooking it, and it was weird.
Defrosting is fine.
Hey, there is a proper technique to microwaving steak. Just saying.
What?
I trust you on this because I don't know.
There's an actual proper thing. My brother has taught me that there's a proper way to actually heat up steak.
But I think you're full of shit if you think you can microwave anything.
All right, hold on.
No. It's cooked. It's already cooked. It's already cooked.
Because if anyone can make it good, it's Kyle.
Kyle, I'm listening.
Yes.
All right.
It's like what you have to do. Apparently, is what my brother's a very steak connoisseur kind of guy.
Yeah,
I guess.
That's definitely the vibe I got.
He's Kyle's brother. Kyle's brother is what I dreamed to be. He's the one that introduced me into old fashions and got me really into whiskey. He's kind of what I want to be.
Why isn't your brother on? I want to talk to him.
Maybe one day. Maybe
one day when he's not crying in Berkeley. But
math major.
Moving on. Berkeley.
Moving on.
Fun times. So he tells me that basically what you have to do is you have to do it in pulse. So like you already have the steak's already been cooked properly, right?
Yeah.
It's already done, and it's just like like you're just heating it up again from like.
Yeah, the fucking microwave tells you itself. Right. Like, hey, flip it over every couple of minutes.
Well, it's not like flipped it over. It's like you gotta take it out of the microwave. So you gotta take it in pulse, and like basically you have to like let it rest multiple times because you gotta let it heat up, but you can't let it get too hot so it cooks itself by accident, basically in a sense. So you have to take it out and then like let it rest for a minute, and then stick it back in, and then like do that back and forth and kind of like freeball it in a sense. It's like totally weird. Yeah. It makes sense. No, and it's just like, what?
Legit, it makes sense when you think about having to let like a steak or a piece of meat in general rest after you cook it, because you don't want to cut into it and have the steam come out. But when you're defrosting something, the temperature hasn't finished reaching the center of it. So it makes sense for you to like want to take it out, let the temperature kind of settle and like mediate a little bit, and then put it back in and pulse it. So you go with ratios. So that makes sense. That being said, I don't want to microwave chicken for a fucking hour. So,
that's true. That's very true. I would never do that.
Like, that's when I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. It's still not going to be as good as if I defrosted it normally.
Robert, it's your poop.
It was meant again.
It's your poop gif. Yeah. It's great.
Again. Wait, again? Really?
No, because I remember when you're like, oh, can you see the poop gif? And then everyone's like, nah.
Yeah. Oh, you do listen to the podcast. That's interesting.
Fuck you. Yes, I did. I listened to all of it.
Hey, all right. Before we like officially introduce this thing, give me some criticisms. What didn't you like about it? What needs to be worked on? Okay. And let's see if we can incorporate
it. It was kind of annoying when like whenever anyone stopped talking, it just like cut the audio. So like it went from like a little bit of static to just like silence. It was like kind of bugged me because I was listening to it for like 3 hours.
Yeah,
that's on me.
No, actually, it's not on you. It's the way that Craig records us.
Yeah.
So you determine the sensitivity that you want the mic to be on Discord, and when the volume is low enough, it just stops recording. So those are just literally nothing. But I just lowered the fuck on my sensitivity, so I'm gonna have a lot of little background noise, and we'll see if that helps, because that is something I noticed too, and I hate it.
Yeah. No, but like honestly, it was I enjoyed it, and it really felt like I was just like just listening to you guys talk, because then we started like you guys started saying something. I'm like, ooh, this SpongeBob reference would be super funny right now, and then you guys did that SpongeBob reference. I'm like, oh my God, I lived with these guys for like 3 years. I know them so well.
I think there's a huge like bias there, isn't there? Because you know us.
I know.
Yeah. But
I'm probably not the best person to ask about the podcast, because like honestly, it just kind of felt like we were just hanging out that night.
Well, but you know what? That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. But at the same time, I was really hoping that you were going to put in like this, like, I was really hoping you were going to come in and just shit on everything.
No, like it was
I was really hoping that. I wanted to hear everything was bad.
Well, okay, because like
everything was
I
garbage.
could 100% see how like somebody else that like just wouldn't enjoy what you guys were doing, but like I love it when Kyle just goes off the fucking rails.
Oh,
absolutely. I honestly, legitimately, I feel like a big part of the podcast is like a huge thing is like when Robert has something structured and like he really wants to go with it, and then Robert goes on a fucking storytelling tangent of the legendary like myth, every fucking thing in the world.
And then Kyle's like, yeah, so I know this was my idea, but I didn't prepare anything, and also I just kind of forgot that like we're just gonna kind of try. It's the and that was like the greatest thing ever, honestly.
I thought it was hilarious.
I like that the structure is there, and I want it to stay there as much as you can manage it. But having the improvisation and the unpreparedness just like makes it so awesome.
So basically, just keep Kyle on the podcast.
Keep Kyle on the podcast. Robert, you keep doing everything that you're doing. You two, honestly,
those are like the two like most like Robert and Kyle things. Yeah. Like Robert's like trying to like make it like really nice and structured and everything, and Kyle's just like,
what? Fuck it. We were supposed to do it today.
Fuck this, man.
He's like hungover. He's just like, oh fuck, we got a podcast. Shit.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you guys are in luck or not, but today is definitely not structured. We have no idea. I have a backup like topic we can talk about, but
I feel like we've already like.
But I think this is going to be a great episode to Freeball, and with that, we're going to start off. Welcome to the Deep Talks podcast. I'm your host Robert, joined of course with my co-host Kylie. Is that how you say it? Am I saying it right?
No.
Kile, of course. So
is Kile Tanaka?
Kile Tanaka, distant relative to Hitomi Tanaka, famous porn star.
Yeah, I secretly have really fucking massive boobs.
Well,
huge.
It's genetics.
We're joined tonight with Ace Barker again. Say hi, Ace.
Hello.
And then we've got close friend of ours. No, god damn it! Don't do that. Don't. Why'd you got to put the boobs on the fucking?
God fucking damn it!
Put some more dicks in the gifs.
Hold on,
quickly.
We've also got Zach. We've just our friend Zach. He's got nothing to plug.
At least give him a cool.
Hello.
Welcome to the show, the legendary, the ultimate Zach.
Hey.
All right, okay, I can accept that. That's fine.
You know, it's one of those
microphone out of everything. So if you get really close and you go, "Hello,"
yeah, give us one of those, Zach. Let's see what you got. No.
Hey there, girl.
That was bad.
Like,
this is great.
Go deep. Go fucking. We need
like,
you.
Hold on. I got something to say about that. Like, that just made me so uncomfortable.
Oh god! I think I used
I spaced out for like a split second, and then I just heard that, and it just got shivers down my like spine, and just like how uncomfortable it was.
Was it like pleasant shivers, like you were like nervous, happy?
No, it was just like
ew. My creepy uncle is hitting on me at a bar. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that kind
of those. One of those. Sorry, no offense. Zach.
No, honestly, used to it.
Your uncle.
Hello, ladies.
See, that's better. That's a little better.
I'm okay with that. I just have to change
I'm okay with that one.
That's not fair.
I hate everyone.
Natural. So
I hate everyone.
Again. Stop it, Ace. I have to keep. I only have so much underwear left. I have to do laundry soon.
Yeah, come on. He doesn't have a fucking washing machine.
Be gentle with me.
I know how you feel down there. It matters just as much as the rest of you.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm just going commando. Just everybody heal.
Just get a mop. Get a bottle.
Just fuck it.
Kyle, why are you wearing pants right now?
Honestly, neither of us are. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm not.
Shit. I mean, I'm going a little wild tonight. I didn't put on any socks.
Dude.
Anyway, Zach is a close friend of ours. We went to school with us. We lived with him for a while. He does a lot of rock climbing. So we kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit today.
He's kind of like Alex Honnold.
Yeah, he's Alex Honnold, Chris Sharma. There's all these big documentaries going around, and so we're trying to capitalize. We're trying to capitalize on the trend of rock climbing.
Selling out.
We're selling out big time.
I'm down.
Actually, you've met Chris Sharma. Is that right? Did I get that right? Yeah.
My forearms have never felt smaller.
Yeah,
that's true. That is true. I will vouch for that. Zach and I have met him together, and I will agree. My forearms have never felt
I was
smaller.
fucking there too, man. Come on.
No, that we don't count. Damn, we were just savage.
I just saw him, but there's apparently
picture it didn't happen.
This is the only you got a picture of it. Maybe I'll put it up.
Yeah,
I got his fucking signature.
Yeah, we got it.
That book
we brought it.
You have the book?
It was a kid's book. 1, 2, 3 climbing. Right?
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was just this adorable little book that we won. Or who won it at a climbing comp? Was it you?
One of our roommates' girlfriends.
Sarah won it. Yeah.
So she won a fucking climbing book for kids, and then we got Chris Sharma to fucking sign.
Strangest victory rewards thing.
Loved it. And then
why? For a college town in third place, you get a climbing book.
Because it's kids. Adorable. It's the geekiest.
It sounds like grounds for abortion. It didn't happen. Just a bad night.
I guess you do run the risk of offending people by giving baby books. I don't know. I think it was cute. I don't fucking
Surprise, you're pregnant. What?
What the fuck? Where is this coming from, Kyle? Where the fuck is this coming from? Did you have an abortion recently? Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your vagina okay?
No.
I'm sorry.
It's a very sensitive topic, okay?
Sorry, didn't mean to get political. So yeah, just strap in and strap on. Let's do this fucking podcast.
Yeah, strap on all your dildos for this.
So, yeah, I think that's the joke. I know I stole it from somebody. I just don't know.
I know you fucked on.
Fucking Ace told me that, and he said it was from a podcast. And this is my first time using that.
Hilarious, amazing.
Yeah, it is funny.
Strap in, strap on, and get ready for the Deep Talks podcast.
Except that actually,
ooh, baby. All right. So I guess let's start off with fuck it. What do you think of the podcast, Zach?
Honestly, loving it so far.
Yeah.
We'll see how this episode goes.
All right. So what I've noticed a lot is and this is completely an improv topic that I just kind of came up with. What I've noticed recently is there's a lot of podcasts out there. There's a fucking saturated market. Everyone has one.
I would have never noticed.
H3 podcast has one. John Mayer had to branch out and go get an Instagram show, and I love it, but whatever. How the fuck are we going to separate ourselves from all the other cooler, more appealing podcasts out there? Do we have any ideas? I mean, we're basically a 4-person think tank right now. Let's fucking brainstorm and let's try to get out there.
Honestly,
we take our shirts off.
Loving the gifts.
Sorry, hold up. I totally spaced out for a second. What was going on?
Oh God,
Kyle, the entire future.
No, we have something.
Let me go off and go.
Every bit of it.
Deep Talks has something that nobody else has.
Kyle. Absolutely. But I mean,
it's got Kyle, but it's, I think legit. It's got having a news feed is pretty cool. Like Zach was joking about it, but legitimately having a feed of GIFs is pretty sick. Having
I really love that.
Yeah, having some kind of visual communication along with the audio. It's not just a bunch of fucking dickheads just rambling on. Even though
yes,
that's what's happening. But you have some visuals to go with it about what we're talking about. It's like having a live conversation with a much more amusing friend than what you ever have in real life. So,
because we're pretty social people. That's a lie.
No,
but legit having that kind of visual communication going along with it, and being able to like fuck each other over in conversation, and legitimately being able to say fuck you when you want to, but without saying it, and with just giving a gif or something.
Yeah.
With being able to say anything that you want with a little simple visual thing. I think the GIFs are a big thing. And
someone else is typing. I know what the fuck is going on.
I haven't typed a goddamn thing. Yeah. And Zach goes and disproves everything I just fucking said.
Absolutely. God, garbage. Oh man, this podcast is fucking nuts sometimes.
Sometimes.
I do enjoy that, and I think it's like I do. You know what? Something I do like is the H3 podcast. They're you see them and they share videos.
They share what they're talking.
So they watch
about
a fucking which I think
like,
is
hey, here's this video and they show it, or hey, here's this picture from Instagram and they show it.
But it does suck for audio only listeners. So people that are working out or people that are just like working, you can't like always look at it.
Yeah. So but that's why this is a great median. You know, it's got the visuals, but it's not completely necessary at all times. Yeah, I think that's the way to handle it too, is that like it shouldn't be completely reliant on having the visuals to communicate ideas and shit. If there is a GIF or a GIF, however the fuck you want to pronounce it, comes up, then if there's a caption to it or what it is, maybe mention it. So that way, like the audience who is just listening, which is going to be most people, quite frankly, because it's a podcast, it's not a fucking video.
No one wants to
down a video for an hour and a half unless it's actually a fucking movie, and hardly anyone goes to
what
movies.
Are you telling us we don't have movie production quality here?
I definitely did not watch like just your guys' feed for an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Totally didn't.
No, but the thing is that most people won't like pay attention to that kind of thing. So I think that like not being reliant on having the visuals is a great thing. But having the visuals is a super big bonus, and it makes a whole lot of conversation open up. Like even if you're just talking about what you just put up, whether it's a link to something else or whatever, I think it's pretty sick for it to be like, all right, here's something else to at least have a conversation about or have a reaction to. Like I think that's I
appreciate that. Thank you, Ace. But enough dick sucking. Let's go back to how we're gonna get famous.
Okay, all right. Well,
we really want to sell out here.
Titties.
Get somebody better for audio, for starters.
Absolutely.
I can start taking off my shirt.
Zach can start taking off his shirt, show off his abs.
Great.
I have like 2 abs now, so that's good.
That's
like,
pretty sick.
That's like
2 of them.
Pretty much like everything we need
on that.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, awesome. Actually, I really do dig our music. You know, I think that's a pretty great part. I know I just started dick sucking again, but
you did. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
I mean, I dig your music. I think it's like it's awesome to have something unique. You know, whatever. I always wanted. Kyle agrees with me. We want a theme song. You know.
Yeah, I think no matter.
Have you ever seen Foster Homes for Imaginary Friends? I'm throwing out a really long cartoon.
Yeah.
You know what the theme that Blue like basically made up? I want that. I basically just want that. Like actually just figure out that. Like just play that on loop for about an hour, and we'll call this.
I don't think that's what it sounds like, but. I'll look it up.
I missed that cartoon. Yeah, if you can. So, Ace, I've got a few requests. If you could do that, that's a new one. If you could do the Blue theme song, whatever he made up, if you could find it, maybe we'll link it to you. We'll help you out there.
I am not going to copy that exact theme song because you know how fucking quickly you're going to get copyrighted and striked off.
100%.
Not if you 100%. Make it like yourself, you know?
No,
I think it's fine.
Anything that has to do with the melody at all. Like if I even show the notes now, YouTube or anybody else will copyright claim it. There's no fucking safety.
I'm not making any fucking money on this podcast. So
fair enough. Okay, well,
also,
here's the thing. There's a no. Hang on. There's an issue with that. Is that it's not just getting copyrighted. Things are getting taken down, and people can't watch it anymore because it's
right. So, but it's not like we're distributing it or anything. I think whatever. Could you also do the Kyle's mom is a bitch song from South Park, but a lo-fi remix? I will also
accept that.
A lo-fi remix. If you need to get new vocals, do it. But a lo-fi version of Kyle's mom is a bitch.
We can work on that tonight.
Okay, I could do Cartman's vocals.
I will take it. I'll fucking take it.
I will sit here and obviously just like channel my inner Kyle. That's all I really just do.
Yeah, but no, legitimately overall, I think having some unique aspects, whether that's a theme song or whether that's the visuals that come with it or whatever, you
Those
have
are all stepping stones.
Yeah, exactly. All of it is, but not stepping stones. I'm going to call them all parts of a project because all of this is something that should matter to both of you. It should matter to everybody. But each part of it is, I guess, in a sense, a stepping stone if you think about it that way. But each part is a small part. Everything needs to add up to be a bigger thing. So having music that's special to you, that's a small part. And I love doing that. Having visuals, that's a small part, but I love it and it makes it special. Having a little bit where you talk about certain things or you decide, all right, this is when we start doing an interview or this is when we start talking about like hypotheticals, having I don't want to call it a gimmick, but having something where you talk about a specific bit, you have your own bit.
Nothing wrong with a gimmick, bro. Nothing wrong with a gimmick.
Nothing wrong with it, really.
As long as it's done classy.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess basically, yeah. But like having your own like special bit, something, that little tiny special bit while they walk in, it's on a dish, it's displayed. Hey, this is it. This is what you got. Little bits. But having special elements, no matter what they are, how big they are, how small they are, like those.
Of course, it's all part of being something original.
Yeah.
I agree. I just, all right. How are we going to reach a wider audience? Like, word of mouth is not doing it. I've got 3 views, and one of them is Zach, and that's pathetic.
Okay.
Two of them are Zach.
Oh, you've blessed us with your presence. Thank you, sir.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
It's okay. 11 of them are me too.
That's what I thought. That seems a bit more reasonable.
Oh yeah, I'd listen back to it to see what we can do better. I don't know. Maybe. All right. This wasn't a great topic, so we'll move on. I don't know what we're moving on to.
Okay, but while we're on this topic, Robert, does anybody else get really weirded out, like listening to your own voice? Like, on this podcast?
Everybody in the planet gets weirded out listening to your own voice.
Not gonna listen to this podcast. Just FYI.
Like, legitimately.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
you'd be surprised how comfortable you get with it when it's like this long. Like, a 10-minute sketch is different, but once you listen to your own voice for an hour and a half, you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, it's just a voice now.
I feel like I'll just be really sad.
You dissociate a little bit.
You'd be really sad.
I can at least confirm with that like you do disassociate a little bit. It's not like you're yourself anymore. It's kind of like no matter, even if you're talking honestly, it's kind of like you just kind of view it as a character almost.
Wait, my fucking opinion didn't matter? You say, me, honestly, you do dissociate. He's right, even though he's a fucking moron. Thanks a lot, Ace. I appreciate it.
Well, putting the douchebag aside here, I appreciate your opinion.
And the dick sucking just goes in circles and circles and circles.
Love me a good circle. Okay.
But see, no, like, I don't know. It's just like kind of weird to me. But do you think that's like why people do like mic checks and just make weird noises in the mics? Like partially just to test the mics, but also
they do it for other reasons too. But yeah,
they definitely do it to just like see the weirdest noises that they can make.
Only reason.
That's true. I mean, that's what I would do. That's like game plan A. But I mean,
I mean,
I don't know. Like, I just don't. I can't like understand like how it'd feel like to just be like live performing something. Like, I guess in the sense where you hear like your own feedback or like you just like singing a song or something like that. I just feel like I'd be so weirded out.
Isn't it? So when you get the feedback in a live performance, aren't you not getting your vocals? Because that causes a brain fart. If you hear there's
a fun little game that I've played before. I think it's honestly a fucking excellent game for everybody here to play. In general,
it's the easiest thing to do. Go on a fucking Discord and do mic check, and it'll play back your own audio.
No, not even that. There's apps.
I can't speak right. I just like talk like this. It's fucking trippy. But
yeah, so what that is when there's a delay from what you're hearing and then what you are saying, that when you change the delay time, like if it's a 10 millisecond time or if it's a 20 or a 60 millisecond time, when you hear the delay, that freaks you out a whole lot, like depending on what the number is. So when you go and listen to Discord back or like whatever it is you're streaming on, and you hear your own self back, if it's not soon enough, you'll start tripping up with your own words.
Yeah.
You'll start like, you'll start sounding like you're having a stroke. Like
the norm is you hear your own voice immediately as it's projected. So you hearing it back a little bit later is, no matter how later, it's always a trip.
Yeah. And if you increase it like just enough, then it makes it so that people start stumbling over every single word that they say. Not just like little things, not just like specific syllables. It's every single thing that you say. It's honestly like, it's a fun game that I've played with some people that I make music with. And it's like you play it and you just play. There's again, tons of apps for it. I'm not going to name any. But you can just like delay your voice, play it back. You put on like sound canceling headphones as best as you can, listen to yourself talk, and you try to speak at the same time. And what it does is it delays your voice. It's sound canceling headphones, so you can't like listen to anything else. And then you hear your voice like a couple, like, or not a couple seconds, but like, you know, several milliseconds later. And then you're like, judge.
I feel like this is going to be life changing. Like, I just feel like it's just going to be like straight, just life changing. It's just like, I'm going to have a moment.
But anyway, it's honestly a pretty fun game to play. Like, I would recommend anybody to play with it if they can, you know, go Google like sound delay apps or something like that. It's pretty fun.
Okay. The mic, I think the mic check in Discord is enough to like realize that you're
probably enough to trip you out.
That you're talking like a
You're also
like you're mentally impaired.
We're also all usually impaired when we're doing this. So
100%.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty
drunk. Bottle of wine.
So far.
I actually do this pretty like, I don't drink normally when I do this, guys.
I know you do. I know you don't.
But Kyle, you don't have to. You're already like this.
That's concerning. That is really concerning.
I mean, yeah, it is.
Don't forget about the cocaine.
Well, that's just my daily ritual.
I don't like referencing our own podcast.
It's like, I know people need to listen to the previous episodes to understand what's happening. You're welcome.
We're a series, Robert. We're a series now.
Goddamn right.
You are a series. Go fuck yourself. You're absolutely a series.
You are a towel.
We're serious.
What's that cricket gif that Robert sent last podcast?
I fucking love that gif. It's fucking perfect. Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
talking about mentioning previous podcasts.
Not everything we say can be a fucking hit, you know.
No, but just 90% of what you say is not. It's just how that goes.
Damn. Damn.
I'm channeling my inner.
Cal just
I just dropped my
got fucking mean. Thanks a lot.
Just meme.
Just fucking Jiminy Cricket. When did that go up? I was looking at my phone. Sorry, I was trying to schedule my next week's work. You know, because this podcast doesn't pay the bills. I'm trying to schedule my shifts for next week.
Fair enough. I was supposed to get paid today. I was supposed to get paid today. Go fuck yourself. I still haven't been.
Oof, really? Dude, go get that. Go get that money.
I'll call my boss probably tomorrow.
Cool. Good call. Let's not get too political here.
No, let's take on a bit like
dollar bills, y'all.
That's a little bit less political.
I
like that.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Yeah, all
dollar bills, y'all.
All right. So, I mean, let's all go around in a circle and talk about what our favorite part of rock climbing is. My favorite part is when like you do it and you do good and you're like, yay, I did it. All right. Who's next?
My favorite part is the crash pads, legit. And I haven't talked about this on the podcast before, and I'm not going to try to suck too many dicks, but I have a big fear of heights, and knowing that somebody is there and you trust them to catch you when you fall, that's a huge fucking thing. That's the best part of it. I don't give a shit if I finish up to the top or not. I want to get a good workout, but I also want to know that I feel safe with who I'm climbing with, and I want to feel safe when I land, no matter what.
But here's the thing, Ace. You shouldn't trust your spotter.
No.
You shouldn't trust your spotter if your spotter is Kyle, because there's a picture of Kyle spotting with one hand, eating a croissant with the other.
He was perfectly fine, okay? I know he's perfectly fine.
He really was.
He sprained his ankle later.
Before. No, before.
That was before. That was before.
Previously sprained his ankle.
So we already
And it was not Kyle's
You had
fault.
an injury, and you were still like, hey, I can spot you.
No.
Also, let me eat a croissant.
The climber had an injury, and he's like, all right, well, I'll spot you with one hand, eat with the other.
Oh my god.
It was fine. Like, okay, he got himself injured when we weren't spotting him, and then when we spot him, he was perfectly fine. Plus, my face is literally a certified crash pad. Like, let's be realistic here.
It's
I don't care how many people sit on your face, Kyle.
No,
it's not a fucking crash pad.
Land.
No. People have landed on my face, and they've all been perfectly fine. I actually have caught John. Like, literally, I've caught John after he hit me in the face.
Yeah. I mean, statistically speaking, Kyle's face is a more what's the word? Not accurate, but effective than a crash pad.
It's spot like.
So you're saying a lot of people sit on Kyle's face?
No, they land on his face.
They land.
They fall out of the sky and land directly onto his face.
It's mostly because I'm walking, and then they just like hit me. Like,
yeah, that's about right. Yeah,
out of nowhere, flying people. I guess whoever says people can't fly is a total bullshit lie.
There's some kind of magnetism to his face, you know. So much so that his bike flipped forward once, and he fucked it up.
I remember that.
Hey, and my face was fucked up, but my bike was perfectly fine.
Never mind.
Yes, you're right, and I fucked it up even more. So,
but pretty rough.
But
it's get chicks dig scars, man.
But I think Kyle and Zach are probably like the most experienced right now to be able to talk about like what their favorite part about rock climbing is.
Oh, absolutely. Ace and I are fucking.
We're noobs. Like we can't really talk about it too much.
That's right.
Zach, you want to go first?
I was gonna ask you if you wanted to go first.
All right, Kyle, go.
My favorite thing about climbing, huh? You guys are really putting me on the spot.
All right, fine, Zach, go.
So for me, it's like the community aspect, because a lot of I've been a part of a bunch of different sports and activities like that, and a lot of them are not like exclusive, but like not very welcoming of newcomers. But that was the exact opposite feeling I got from climbing. And like I worked at a climbing gym, and like basically all of my climbing experiences have been very positive with very positive people.
Yeah, for the most part. There's definitely a couple douchebags here and there.
Oh, absolutely. But you know, I love to make fun of the frat bros that like do a couple pull-ups and then can't finish the route.
Yeah. When did you? How long ago did you start climbing? Actually,
I've been climbing for about 4 years now.
4 years.
Yeah, and just like the thing that's kept me with it for this long has been the community aspect. Like I just went on a week-long climbing trip to Utah and Nevada, and it was with some of the people that I like when I was working at the climbing gym. They started climbing there, and I saw their progression, and we were working on like the same routes, and they were killing it. And it's amazing to see their progression in the community, because they're working at the climbing gym. They're a big part of the community, and it's been like a great experience seeing like my effect on them and how that has in turn affected so many people.
I think that's something that's not really found in a lot of areas. I can't relate to the climbing community at all, but I like, and I'm not gonna like talk about it too much, but I had somebody who I used to know in high school a lot who came through and like texted me because he started working an IT job at a place that my mom works, and he figured out who my mom was basically, and he was like, "Hey, is your son, Ace?" And she was like, "Yeah." And so he texted me the other day, and he was like, "Dude, you still working on music?" And it was like so cool to talk about the fact that he was working on music still, and he loved doing that because he just had like some kind of community. Like he had like a few, like not very many, but like a small group of friends that really loved doing what he was doing, and that kept him doing what he wanted to do on his spare time. Even though he had like a real job now, he had everything set, but he like loved doing music stuff. And the thing that I think, at least according to him, like kind of drove him was being able to have a conversation with people about stuff at the very least. It was being able to like communicate with others on like what you're doing, how you're doing it. And none of it is like, oh, you can't do that because like you're not experienced enough, or like, oh, I don't know how to do that. No, like nobody was an asshole about it. It was very much like no, you could do it that way. I don't know how that'll sound because I'm not going to bullshit you if I don't know how that sounds.
Is this all coming from some guy from like your hometown, right? Which is on the smaller side. It's not a big city or anything. So community seems to drive a lot of people, but that's
community is a super important thing, I think.
Yeah,
but
it can be really undervalued.
I think it's a super big thing, and like I think it's awesome.
That's true. I think the climbing community is a pretty special community too. It's like pretty strange.
There's a huge crossover with hippies and climbing.
Yeah,
it's all like the whole nature respect aspect of it.
Yeah, I can believe that.
It's a big draw, and so hippies are always like, "Oh, what's up, dude? It's whatever you do, man." And I think that's awesome. I think that's great. I wish more people were like that. And I agree. That is something I always like to talk about. Like like the good people, the good climbers, and the cool people that climb are always like
the nicest.
They're so accepting.
Yeah, I used to work out quite a bit, and it was something where like if you showed up to the gym, you kind of had to like prove yourself in some sense of way. Like there was some asshole like grunting next to you, and like you couldn't get him to stop unless you went up next to him, made zero sound at all, and pushed more weight than he ever fucking could. That was the only way to like prove that it was like okay to be there.
That's such an animalistic way of thinking.
Yeah, it's not fucking okay, but it's like the most alpha mindset. And the community of like climbers, they're the most accepting. They're the nicest fucking people I've ever probably been around.
And they're the best ninja warrior.
Probably. I haven't been around many ninja warriors, but that's something that's super dope. But like the whole climber community, they're just so nice. Jimmy. They're accepting. They know that everybody's on different levels, and nobody's like judging each other for what they're doing. And everybody's willing
for
to
the shitty gym bros that tried to get out of the fucking gym. They come over to the rock climbing and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is
try to do it. Yeah,
this is a sick bump, and then they're just fucking like, "Oh, you only climb V1, you fucking pussy." And they're fucking assholes. They're the worst. And then they
climb V3 and they're like, ooh.
And they wear fucking aviators all the goddamn time. That's just one guy.
Right now, Robert.
That's just one guy.
Just one guy. Yeah. He doesn't work.
Not even a gym bro. He's just a douchebag.
Yeah. Got it.
Damn, Robert. It's very, very specific calling out right there.
Well, only a few select people know who I'm talking about. But fuck that guy. With his fucking camera thinking he's taking sick ass pictures. Where Derek is taking sweet fucking awesome pictures, and Derek is so cooler but this other fucking aviator.
Don't mention names here.
Why? Derek is such a generic name, and he's so
love
cool.
Derek.
Love Derek.
Yeah, we all love Derek.
All the aviator bitch, on the other hand, sucks dicks.
What an asshole.
Kyle,
you know who you are.
Out of curiosity, after hearing myself talk about something I don't know much about, and after hearing Robert introduce the conversation and talking about it, and Zach, who is probably like the most experienced person here, what are your thoughts on like what's your favorite part about rock climbing?
Are you playing host right now?
I'm not trying to.
Ace, you son of a bitch.
Ironically enough,
something structure.
Ironically enough, I have slightly a bit more experience than Zach and at least Leo's.
Yes, he does.
I have slightly a bit more.
Has he? Okay.
I have like 5
I
or 6
want to hear more
years,
story about this then.
So I got started in kind of similar way for the community wise. I got pulled into it from another like crusher, I guess, like climber crusher, from like my dorms when I was in college. After being like really into running, is like realistically how this all kind of fell into place. So I got really out of shape, I got really fat, and then I got into climbing. So I went from the worst shape of my life into one of the better shapes of my life. It's not the best, but it's one of the better shapes of my life.
Yeah,
that sounds familiar.
Right. So basically, the point was is that I couldn't climb anything. Period. Like there was literally I couldn't do anything. But the community there was like pretty great. But like what is I guess kind of changed now over the years. Now like so many years have kind of passed through. It's probably become a little bit more of a like focus. So it's like what you do in life. A lot of times you're like jumping from thing to thing really quickly, and like it's always just one thing after another. You're like from point A to point B to point C to point D, and you're just like going basically. And then you get to climbing, and you're just like, all I have to do is just get up there. Like there's no, and like just got to do it. It's just like that's the one thing. It's completely focused, and you just got to do one move after another, and it's just you just have to follow the sequence or whatever works for you, and then it's done. That was the second thing that got me really into it. And then it's like really focusing, kind of like it's like a weird thing of where when you dive into like, I guess, like a hobby or something like that, where it's just like that total like sense of focus and flow that just like, that's what it becomes. And that feeling of that is like really cool. They got a lot when I used to do a lot of running, which is like the running high that everyone always talks about. It's kind of like something similar to that. And so then that kind of shifted, but now it's become a little bit more of a comedy kind of thing at this point. Of just being like, dude, all these routes are just really fun. Like they're just like you're just kind of goofing off and just trying to come up with the wackiest betas, or just trying to do something really weird or like fun, and like trying not to hurt yourself, I guess, at the same time. Which is just like, I guess my like idiocy is just like increasing, I guess, over the years of to climbing, because you just kind of get used to it after a while, and trying to keep you somewhat safe at the same time.
More or less.
But yeah, so like my shifts of what I love about climbing has like changed over the years, I guess, especially like as you get more into it, and as like you get more and more focused on like doing, I guess, like exercising and training for it, and like specific moves that you have to isolate, it becomes very tedious. And so trying to find specific things that like really make it's like falling more in love with something, I guess, in a sense, or falling in love with somebody. You keep finding more things to fall in love with because you get sick and tired of the things that you first fell in love with.
Yeah. I fucking hate her hair, but she cut it, so now I like her. I get it.
That's pretty much how it goes.
We've all been there.
It's exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Cuts your hair, and all of a sudden you're dating a new woman or man. Not to discriminate.
I've been there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's pretty much like a 1-for-1 kind of thing. And so basically, I'm dating climbing, is what I'm saying. I'm basically married to this thing.
Sorry, some person outside my window is making anime sex noises.
Go on.
Random thing, just like some drunk. Yeah,
go on. I'm listening.
So I mean, that's all I have to share about it. But it just fucking happened randomly, and I'm happy it did. I'm happy it did. Well, let's see if I can get some.
I'm trying to think of like what I've been really into. Also, just doing a lot of wacky problems. The wackier it is, and the more I have to think about it, the more I'm gonna like the problem, no matter how like difficult it is. Like,
Kyle, I was working on one today with a bat hang finish.
yes.
So basically, hang from your feet, and then you hang upside down and finish like that.
Yes. What is that shift?
I don't know.
It's really disturbing.
What the fuck am I watching?
What did you search to get that?
Honestly,
I literally typed anime. I first typed hentai, no results. But anime gave me that.
I
Well, anime
think
always
Discord
uses-
might be lying to you.
Discord is lying to me, really?
Yeah, I think if you might have typed hentai, something maybe would have come up.
I feel like that should have popped up, but nothing. It says no gifts match your search.
Really? I guess this is a kind of a kid-friendly program, huh?
There we go.
Such
I
an
typed
odd thing.
in hent, and then it gave me this. It gave me multiple results if I don't complete the word.
Wait, just
Yeah.
type in hen. H-N-E.
Let's see what happens. Oh boy, we've got a good crossover here. There you go.
What the fuck is happening right now?
I don't know. This gift searching thing is it's giving me gold.
Huh,
giving
it's
me
almost
gold.
as if they had a sensor on it. Strange.
This is what it's doing. It's just giving me gold. Their little ribbon.
Oh. Yeah, of
With a
course.
little bit of
Oh.
That's cute, Robin. I'm
Back
glad
to hent. Yeah.
somebody's cute. To hent.
Why does that remind me of it should remind me of the Bible directly, but it actually reminds me of an episode of Top Gear where
Okay.
Okay. Continue. I wonder where this goes.
Did they have tentacles going on in?
No,
Did they have
may as well
enlarged
have-
eyes? Is that
No,
what
it's
the
the gold part, and that the fact
Did they
that
have?
that was the
Did they
first
have
thing
a
that came up.
girl that was like hideous at and she was hideous one day and then didn't eat for 3 days or stayed in her room because a soap opera ended
What
weird.
parts of Bible stories do you remember?
I'm so sorry.
Kyle fucking showed me this thing once. It was this anime where this girl, she like something happens in her anime or manga, right? Some guy dies, right? And
Yeah.
she stays in her room for 3 days. And she comes. So at the beginning, she's fat and attractive, right? And then she comes out. Oh, sorry, even better. At the beginning, she has those Brock eyes, from fucking Pokemon, just lines. 3 days later, she doesn't leave her room. She comes out. She's gorgeous. She's fucking thin. She's got eyes. It's beautiful. Fucking weirdest thing I've ever seen.
For people that don't know, this is what Block's eyes
an
look like.
Yeah, it's just lines.
So at this point, my internet cut out, and it took me about a half hour before I was able to rejoin Discord, and we could continue the podcast.
Fuck, what a rude piece of shit.
Ace was
What
just
kind of
talking about
monster? Was he really?
Yeah, he was talking about movies, but he was just realistically, all you really have to say is just, all right, ladle, and then just hang up.
Easily. Yeah, absolutely.
But you can't just say that because then it's the context behind it just makes you feel really bad. It's oh, did I fuck up?
Man, you guys didn't even add any gifts to this. Oh, wait, did you?
Huh?
Wait, hold on a
It's
second.
been that good of a conversation.
Oh, there's one gif.
Love you.
Love you. Well, yeah. So sorry, my internet cut out. We can get into a political debate about internet, but
No.
I refuse.
We're so past that.
I'm so
Just
glad, dude. I
Robert,
was
just let me
not
take
into
over
that.
from here. Robert, just let me take over from here.
Actually, no. I have something. I have something worth sharing that I had as a backup in case we totally sucked.
Blew it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, I'll start off. I'll start off with a news story. Okay.
Are you gonna lay it
So
on
this is
thick? Okay.
thick
A
with
new
disease.
story laid on thick.
Breaking news: a man
I just-
chokes a cashier for putting chips and canned goods in the same grocery bag.
Dude, that is pretty fucked up, yo.
Dude,
That
this
is kind
fucking-
of fucked up. I've worked in a grocery store for a year. Fuck
Yeah. All right.
You-
So
that
you
shit's
have
kinda
to
fucked
hate
up,
the
yo.
customer. Hear me
That or
out.
you have to give zero shits because you're about to get off your shift.
This fucking customer, right? Whatever. This fucking dude buying groceries. He's like, hey, I've got a lot of chips. Don't throw my groceries around. I don't want the chips to get all smashed up. Then the fucking cashier throws the fucking some like cans in with the chips and gets them all squished, and this dude gets pissed off, right? So he pays for it, he leaves, and he turns around. He's like,
"Bitch, what?"
No, he says, "Do you have a problem with me? Because I have a problem with you." And then the fucking cashier was turned around. Presumably he thought that this dude was kidding, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Do you? You know, like, do you have a problem with me?" And he's, "Because I have a problem with you." And this guy's like, "Do you?" This fucking dude comes in and chokes this motherfucker and calls him an idiot as he fucking wrings his neck. God damn.
He straight up killed this cashier?
He didn't kill him. It was just an assault. This man was charged with simple assault. And this article fucking has the nerve to end with, "Next time he might consider Pringles."
Damn.
Oh man.
Damn.
This fucking news article. I see.
Okay, A, fire that vital. B, like
absolutely.
B, also balls, but also
balls to
like power to that man.
What a fucking power move, dude.
Dude,
on all sides.
I think there's something kind of to that because like a lot of the time, like cashiers, and I didn't work too much cashier work, but they are under a lot of stress.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I believe that.
But they do have unlimited power, legit. Yeah.
But I mean, you know,
they don't need to do that
for this guy who's like, "Hey, don't fuck with my chips, dude. I got a lot of bags of chips. Don't crush them." And this dude is fucking like a teenager, like, "Okay, cool." And then he throws a can in with some fucking frijoles with my fucking Lays and crushes those bitches. And I'm like, "All right, dude, you fucking suck." And then he turns around and is like, "Oh, do I?" And then I'm gonna fucking wring his neck. I relate with this guy a lot. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't have a problem with this guy strangling a man. That's not the problem here. Who the fuck throws in cans with chips? Okay, like,
no. The thing is, no. I understand that shit. Like, if you're an asshole and you're at the cash register and like you're just dealing with all of that shit. Absolutely. If you decide like that somebody is being a major asshole, like you already have an asshole manager, because who the fuck grows up to be a manager at a fucking grocery store? That's the dude who's in charge of you. That's the dude who reins your neck every fucking day of your life. So at that, you're like, you know what? All right, any slight thing that pisses me off, you chuck a can into a bag of chips. You do that shit.
See, okay, like, that is fair. Right. I guess I'm
fine with that.
I'm not dealing with this.
I'm fine with that, but I also don't blame this guy for choking the cashier. I'm with Kyle.
I blame him for choking a cashier. I don't blame him for cursing them out.
Yeah, he should have definitely just yelled at him and left. But
but you said you don't blame him for choking out a cashier.
In a Tarantino
I stand by my words.
Choke the shit out of him. Choke the fucking goddamn shit out of this cashier.
In a Tarantino film, you'll also get some preface to that where like they also just lost their son and daughter in an accident to somebody who is probably conveniently a cashier. That's how a Tarantino film works.
I'm thinking more, all right, Inglourious Bastards, I'm thinking about this fucking chick that got choked out and all she did was like lie. She didn't do anything wrong.
Fair.
But you add some fucking garbage to it, like, oh, you know, she fucking bagged some groceries wrong. Yeah, okay, I'll take it. I'll watch a violent choke scene and not feel guilt. Fine. But I did... I'm fucking around, dude. Don't.
No, but wait, hold up.
I know.
Robert, you make a good point. You make a good point here, though, Robert. Who the hell is just watching this man choke a teenager as a cashier? Like, nobody else in this grocery store. Like, how do you not notice a middle-aged man or like an adult man just run up to a cashier and just?
I think it's really more amusing to think about like the footage from the grocery store, just like every different angle of like just like some dude leaning over.
I wish we had
the cashier
that.
I don't. The story wasn't unleashing as much.
The story
power.
Wasn't national news or anything, but I wish we had.
And then, like in the background, there's like this nice peaceful like
this
elevator
is the
music
shit that politics should be about.
And it's just like some dude fucking strangling somebody, and you're totally okay with it. Just like the whole way through.
This is what news should be about. Yeah, this is news. This is real news.
Well,
it's more news than what we get.
what I wanted to what that kind of brought the discussion was like, what are things that like annoy the fuck out of you?
I totally relate to like some like again, like I totally relate to the whole thing of like if somebody like throws some fucking cans in while you have some chips in there, I'm like, no, you dickhead, I've done this job. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like stop doing that shit. I was polite as shit and I make sure I do that.
Yeah.
Like don't fucking do that. I get that to some degree, but like things that annoy the shit out of me.
Oh yeah, there's a billion things.
Well, I mean, you know, here's one thing. So
Elevators.
you know how everybody gets everybody gets fucking.
Don't get me started.
What?
Yes, Rob.
There are ups and downs. You know how everybody gets like really uncomfortable with the word moist?
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
That annoys me when people say like, "Oh, I hate the word moist. It's so gross." Dude, how the fuck else do you describe a delicious cake? Wet? No, you describe it as moist. Fuck, it's
Tasty.
delicious. Well, what about the cake is delicious? Well, it's really moist. You know, it's a moist cake. What the fuck?
It's kind of gross.
Who wants a fucking firm cake, dude? That's bread. A firm cake is just bread. Don't fuck with me on this. You know better than I do. Fuck you. But
Actually, let me correct you on that one about that being firm.
I agree with that.
That was true.
Moist and
I
firm.
want my bread to be kind of firm, to be honest. Sometimes that just means it's stale.
Well, okay, not on the inside. It's structured, you know, but the cake, it's just always spongy and moist. And what's wrong with the word moist? It's not that gross.
No. It's when it's used to describe things wrongly.
Absolutely fine.
Not
Don't
even
use words
wrongly.
incorrectly. Who's a fucking animal like that? You know, like no one.
But I mean, it's not like
Okay,
it's not
all right,
like
Robert, everybody shut the fuck up.
Moist. Just
What are you talking
nice, moist loins.
Okay, see that's
Lovely.
wrong.
See,
But
okay,
talking
all right.
about a cake,
Moist cake.
So
there you go.
I
That's
think
much
that
better.
moist is an excellent word because people like build it up to this like incredibly disgusting thing because it exhibits such a greater emotional response.
It's got power behind
It
it.
has so much.
it does. It does. But can we all just agree though that it's the perfect word for it? Like even the
It's so
word
good.
moist
Oh,
makes
honestly,
you moist. Like it's the actual
I love me some
perfect
moist
word.
Who wants dry fucking cake? Gross.
I
I
think
want
where
some
the
moist goddamn cake.
discrepancy comes from it is when you say
Using it
moist,
other than
there's
cake.
lots of
Yeah.
in it. And
It
I
also
think
kind of
that's
makes your
not-
mouth water. Like some saliva builds up kind of thing.
Dude,
just
I really
saying
want a
it
cake
literally
right
makes
now.
your mouth water. Like,
I'm
it's-
with you,
yeah.
Kyle.
Yeah, right? Like, but like on another note though, tender really just gets me going. I don't know. I just want like
Tender?
when like the word tender to describe like steaks and food is perfectly fine to me. But when someone's like my bunions are tender, or things like that.
My tenderloins are a little bit
Moist.
tender, Kyle.
See, like tenderloins, that's not enough. It's got to be like weird body parts described as tender.
How tender is your forearm? Your right
know,
one.
My eyelids the other day, you know, they were really tender.
Yeah, see, like this is like weird. It's like
Yeah,
It was like, you know, this girl was touching them and it was really tender.
I think
I got
it's
really
more
moist out of it.
less like people's understanding of the use of the word, less than it is like, you know, the word itself. Like the word itself, sometimes if something is really excessive in any way, shape, or form, like moist, if you say it like that, or if you just say moist, like those are two very different sounding words, but they're the same word. Saying moist is like is there's lots of like elements that you do not want to listen to. Hearing that ASMR type of shit in a regular word, that's what grosses you out.
I can see that. I can see that. But I don't think it's wrong every fucking time. You know? Because every time anybody says the word moist, everybody else goes, "Oh my god, ew, I hate that word." And I'm so sick of it. It has its place. It has its place.
It does. I think it's because it's a fucking trend. And I think that there is reason to not like the word simply because it is associated with things that are fucked up or like things that are not nice to listen to, or the fact that the word is said in a way that it's not nice to listen to. So I think that's respectable to think that it's not a great word to listen to, but at the same time, it's just a word. And also it's just like, it's really not that bad. Like it's fine. Totally fine.
Word.
Yeah. Thanks, Kyle. Jesus Christ, those eyeballs.
Are they tender?
Holy
Well,
fuck.
it's fucking Nick Kroll, dude. What do you expect?
I know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. That's I guess one thing that kind of can beat me.
All right. So that's a thing that annoys me. What you guys have any? I got more examples.
I have plenty of things that like annoy the shit out of me.
I can
incompetence in general, just incompetence.
Yeah, well, I think that's really general, but I think that also pertains to like what field you're in, or like what.
No, it's like not like that. Like I can understand like in construction, it's just like when you fucking up in the most basics and things. Like when you're talking about like, I tried microwaving this thing, but I blew up the microwave. Well, no shit, you put metal in the fucking microwave. Like that's just come on, really like. Really like or like
no I think there's a setting they should put on every single fucking machine now where it's just like, all right, if you don't understand how to basically use this item, there should be some catch to it. You put metal in a microwave.
It's just like incompetence of like that matters that just like piss me off just like so much. It's like, well, I tried to. It's like, no, you didn't. You just didn't give it any thought. Like, you just failed miserably.
Yeah. I think there should be some, and I'm not very great at this. I don't think anybody is perfect at this at all.
No.
But, like, you should kind of try to put some thought behind the things that you do a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Just a little bit.
But no, the incompetence thing, and that brings up, like, what I was thinking of, which is the shit that aggravates me, is fucking elevators, man. Like, dude, if I walk into an elevator and I walk in, like, I always try to let people walk in front of me because that I just fucking do that, or because I'm late to an elevator. Yeah, but regardless, there's usually somebody in the elevator before me. And if somebody is standing and like hurtling their entire body or their entire fucking family of 19 fucking people in the elevator right next to the goddamn buttons, like I can't reach them. Yeah, I don't want to have to fucking ask you. Yeah. You better ask me what the fuck floor I want to go to. Yeah, I can't even fucking see what floor you're trying to get to because all of you are blocking that shit. Like
that is annoying. Yeah.
I think in general, like if you're the first one in an elevator, or if you are coming in and you are the first one in before somebody else immediately, then just ask the other person, like while you're pushing your button, like, hey, what floor do you want to go to? Not getting that question. Yeah. Not getting that question or like shit like that. It's like, bro, dude, I don't want to fucking talk to you anyway.
Dude.
Like, dude, bro, dude, how's it going, dude, bro? Like, dude, no, but like asking that is something that's like you can like I'm not gonna fucking reach my arm around you and press the goddamn button. Yeah, and I also don't want to fucking talk to you. Or also like when I'm walking in, like this has happened because my girlfriend and I go to a movie theater every so often because it's the only one that's fucking around us. But you have to park in a parking garage. You can never get a spot on the first floor, so you have to use the elevator. That or walk like a quarter mile across the goddamn parking lot and then get to the stairwell and walk down. And it's like, fuck that. But we get there and we're like, all right, let's use the elevator, of course. And everybody else is using it. And we need to get to the movie theater. And we get in there. And the fact that I have to fucking ask somebody to like hit a goddamn button, I'm like, you just ask. Like, I know you don't need to, but at the same time, what the fuck do you think is going to happen right now? I'm just going to magically appear on whatever fucking floor I need to get to. Like, I get it. You need to get to level 2 because you parked there. Cool.
Right.
Hit the lobby button. Go fuck yourself. Like,
Right.
It's like some level of like honest.
Maybe a bad example, but okay, if he's getting off,
maybe a bad example.
Wait the floor. You can't wait till he gets off and then press your button.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
But whatever. Maybe, I get what you're saying. I'm infuriated. I think we can move on to the next one because people in elevators lack common courtesy.
Hold up.
General. Go, Kyle. Go.
Okay. Well, continuing on elevators, it's not like I don't have a problem with the elevator courtesy or etiquette or whatever it is. It's fine, I guess. I just shove them over, just beat the shit out of them, and then push the button. But I have a problem with the elevators in my work. Like, specifically just these elevators.
I know your elevators.
These fucking elevators. So the thing is, like, you might either like this, Ace, you might either like this. This is pretty interesting. The buttons are on the outside. So, like, basically you dial in what floor you want, and then the elevator comes and gets you, and then it drops everyone off at the floors. So you don't have to push any buttons. Like, you don't have to push people out of the way because it's in the hallway. It's like basically how it goes. But the worst thing about this elevator is that a touchpad is like the shittiest touchpad. I literally found like the worst touchpad that you could ever have in 2019. Like, this is like this kind of shit that you would see when they first came out of with like touchpads. Like, like 2020.
I call it a press pad versus a touchpad. Touchpads are when it's sensitive, and then push pads are when you have to like punch your fist into the fucking screen to get a reaction.
No. It's not like that. You basically push a button and it pushes a different button than what you actually mean. It needs to be actually fucking calibrated. Oh, God. And on top of that, it is a push pad. So it's a little bit of both. So it's a double whammy. Like, I've literally pushed 14 because I have to go to the 14th floor, and it dials a 9 twice.
Oh, God.
Twice. So it calls another elevator. No, get this. So they think that these elevators work faster somehow, right? So the elevators are divided up into two halves. So the six elevators, because this is, San Francisco and the skyscraper, it's relatively 6 elevators. So the 3 of the elevators go to basically floors like 2 to 12 or 2 to 10 actually. Another half of the elevators go to 14 to 20, right? Or whatever, 12 to 20, which is the problem because it's like, if you think about this just like ever so slightly, give this a tiny bit of thought, you realize the bottom floor ones move a lot faster than the ones that have to travel all the way to the top of the building, right? So the ones that have to go to like the 14th floor and on literally take forever. Like, you see people get on like an elevator and then like go up to the floor and then go to the 6th floor and then can come back down, and we could still be waiting for a fucking elevator to get to the 14th floor. Like, it's just like that. And it's like the worst because like on top of that too, these fucking elevators, you can't have any buttons. So like, even though an elevator will be there, and you can get into it comfortably, like there's enough time, it takes time to program the floor into that elevator to go to that floor. So it won't register it. So like, there would be a person that's like waiting in this elevator that's relatively empty, and you can just like jump in, but it's not to your floor. So you can't get into the elevator. You have to wait for another elevator to come down and get you to go to your actual floor, because it will just bring you to somewhere else.
That is so
and it is like the worst. It's awful. We all
just have 6 elevators. If you just have 6 elevators,
I feel like that's an inconvenience when you don't have many, because
exactly right.
at a company that I've been around, they had a lot of elevators, and they did have a system where like half the elevators went through the bottom half of the floors, and the other half went to pretty much the other half. There's a little bit of overlap, but having the overlap meant that everybody could kind of get to their office as soon as they could. And this was a building that was like 30-something stories tall or something.
Yeah.
And so it was like, having a little bit of overlap makes a huge difference. Right. But like just sectioning it off entirely is like, all right. Like, I guess if there's an emergency, I'm going to die.
Yeah, it's like coming from like a structural standpoint, I guess I kind of get why they only have that they split them is because like they don't have enough room to have all 6 go to all 4s because like those bays you need to have for that stuff. Yeah, which is fine. It's just like do better planning. Period. Like that, you should just do better. Like
you're at this level of company, you can design an elevator.
Come on, like this is a fucking skyscraper. Like, do better. B, like, dude, like, fuck these elevators. They're not fast. Like, this is bullshit. Like, come on.
I'm gonna start jogging up the stairs every morning. God damn.
Yeah. Fucking God damn it. Like, so upset. Okay. Yeah. So those elevators, just specifically, those elevators piss me off.
Makes you want to jump off a building, if you know what I mean. I'll be completely honest with you guys. I don't really feel like this was a full episode. I think this is just us fucking around.
Mostly. But at the same time, I feel like there was some good footage out of it.
At the beginning.
Most of the beginning.
After post racism comments, I think we kind of fell apart, and I was never really back
so
in the mood. I
we
think.
basically had like 45-minute podcasts.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
We'll play around with it. We'll talk about it.
Maybe it'll be highly edited. Maybe it'll just be like an uncut, super raw. Podcast.
Super raw, like rip the condom.
Love it.
Go for it.
Zachy, go to bed. You know what? Yeah, maybe we should just have a 30-minute podcast or 45-minute because I think our discussion of like rock climbing was cool, and then we could just end it there. Yeah. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Sorry, it was kind of a weird
Shameless plug.
Quick listen to Ace Parker. He's gonna be uploading shit sooner or later. He's curating his own stuff. Zach, make sure to know that he exists. He doesn't really have anything to plug. No. Kyle's got a podcast going on. It's called Deep Talks with Robert and Kyle. You should go listen to that. And with that, good night.
Very similar name to yours.
Something like that, Robert.
Wait.
All right. Talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye.
Ooh. Wait, I have a podcast? I didn't know I had a podcast. Oh, okay. Well, good night.